Yeah, everybody, so check out this comment from Jason Grant 419 on TikTok. I did a video where I'm talking about if it's Thanksgiving coming up, Thanksgiving is a great opportunity for a dad to keep his kids when the mother has been keeping the kids from him, or the mother keeps the kids on the weekend and says you can only have 2 hours here, whatever. So for all you guys out there, Jason Grant 419 says, be a good little boy and obey your baby's mom like she's your Lord and Savior. And she's the goddess of your world because you've been punked and controlled and henpecked and whipped by her, your whole relationship, and you feel like you have to obey her. What I want to ask you is, I DM'd this guy and I said, explain yourself. Why? He says, if you're not married, this is bad advice. First of all, I'm gonna ask you guys just to ask some questions. Don't even take my side because I know what the hell I'm talking about, and this total stranger doesn't. I want to give an example. Like, think of somebody like if Michael Jordan is doing a basketball camp and he does a crossover or behind the back drill or a dribbling drill or a shooting drill, and somebody just walks into the camp. Nobody knows him, who he is, or what he's done, or anything like that. Don't even know if he's a basketball player. And he says, "That's a bad drill. Don't do that." First of all, it's Michael Jordan talking. He has a history of winning over and over. Okay? I have a history of winning over and over. My clients have a history of winning over and over. I've seen thousands of guys keep their kids from the mom when she said no and disobey her and commit blasphemy, according to this guy, because he says he's insinuating that if you're not married, then you have absolutely no rights. And he doesn't explain himself again. So just like with everything else, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask, where do you get that from? Because he doesn't explain himself. This is what I hate about my gender. We're so dumbed down sometimes. We don't even explain ourselves. People like give half-assed comments. Hey, I need help. Okay, well, I can't DM you. Your thing is on private. Does that mean you want consultation? Do you want me to write you a book in the comments and stuff? My gender is so shiftless and lazy and half-asses everything. And is so lethargic and so like, oh, push button. Like I saw a clip about 10 minutes of that cartoon with the robot who went into outer space. Gosh, what was it? Was it I something? Not iRobot, but anyway, this robot, there's nothing left on Earth. This robot hops a ride on a spaceship, and all these people are super fat, and everything's high technology. And they get up out of bed, and they roll into a chair, and the chair moves around electronically, and they push a button to feed them coffee and feed them a Danish and feed them this. And everybody's super fat, and they're sitting around on the spaceship in artificial light. And so they just sit around, they just lie around all day, and they're super fat. That's my gender. They want to just push a button and make as minimal effort as possible. And I say, hey, this is a war to fight over your kid. If you love your kids, it's worth it. It's hell to go through sometimes. But most of the time when guys grow some balls and get on the offensive and go to war, then the mother just wilts all of a sudden, because you actually grew some balls, and women respect guys who grow some balls, and the ones who try and placate and cater to them and be nice and whatever you say, dear, and whatever you say, I bow down and worship you, then they don't even respect you. But this guy says, go ahead and worship a woman and bow down and obey her like a good little serf. So what I asked this weirdo who just comes out of the blue and says, basically, he's saying, if you're married, it's okay to keep your kids from your ex-wife that you're separated from. Or if you're in the middle of divorce, you don't have a court order. But if you're not married, this is bad advice. Why is it bad advice? Is there something illegal a father is doing when he keeps his kids from the baby's mom? If what he's doing is illegal, how come you're not criticizing the mothers who withhold the child all the time? How come you don't have a problem with that? But you'll jump all over a dad who does it. What is illegal about keeping your kids when there's no court order? If you had your kids every other weekend and the mother says, you know what, you're not going to have the kids on the weekend anymore, and you obey her, what changed? Where did you get the rights? How come the rights are allowed to be dictated by an emotional basket case baby's mama? See, we all make up all this fantasy in our head that like she has some kind of legal authority or something. Why would the law say whatever the mother says if it just changed, why wouldn't the law be definite? Like, there's, you go to court and you get parenting plans, you get specific court orders. Why would the law just say, oh, whatever she says and thinks? How come, one baby's mom lets a guy have 50-50 and the other one, she never lets him see the kid? Why is it up to her if those are the wide variety of results? Do you have laws for, speeding on a freeway in a state where, on a freeway, like, in a stretch of freeway, like for 1 mile it's 50, another mile it's 60 miles an hour, then it's 80, 90, then it's 40 and 20. Like, you have some open stretches where it changes and there's nobody around. You're out in the boonies. I know, like in Montana, I think it's 90 in some places. But do you really have it just staggers back and forth and it flips back and forth every mile like that on the freeway? I mean, the laws usually have something consistent. Under this guy's law, whatever the mother says, and that could just be the whole gamut all over the place. So, why is it bad? Why is it bad advice to keep your kid? Now, when I'm saying this, I'm not telling anybody breaking laws, because there's 2 states. Michigan says you can't keep a kid more than 24 hours if you're the father and you're separated. If you're the biological father, you can't keep the kid more than, it's assumed the mother has custody. Georgia has one like that. Those are fascist, unconstitutional situations. This guy, he's such a little sissy coward that he would tell Martin Luther King, don't go marching in Birmingham, don't go marching in Alabama, don't go marching in Mississippi. Martin Luther King marched on the basis of the Constitution and the principles of freedom we had in the country. There were Jim Crow laws that said, okay, black people stay on this side of the sidewalk, black people aren't welcome here. He defied that because they were unconstitutional, discriminatory, and crazy. I'm sitting here saying, defy the paranoia we have about mothers owning children. Defy that, because it's not written in the law anywhere except for Michigan and Georgia. And those ones are totally fascist and unconstitutional. This guy is making up his own weird, crazy law in his own head because he's going off of emotion and what he's seen. And, this TikTok, I've only had it for a little bit. The last couple TikToks ago, I was up to like 14,000 followers, and I guess I was too harsh, too many times, and then they banned me. Sometimes I got post banned because I put my phone number in there. I didn't know that was illegal to put your own phone number in there. So this guy doesn't explain why you can't keep your own kid. Now, think about how stupid that is. If you go and pick up your kid on the weekend and the mother lets you have the kid Friday through Sunday, and then she gets pissed at you and she says, no more overnights. If there's something wrong with you keeping your kid when you want to keep your kid, why was it okay before? The only thing is, she's mad now, or she's mad you got a new girlfriend. She wants to ensure she's got child support. She's doing it for control freak reasons, because all the science and all the data says children need both parents, and they need a father in the home full time. So if they cared about the kids, they would let you have the kid. But now she's got her panties in a bunch over something, and so we need to follow her. See, this guy is a follower of men shouldn't be followers of women. We're the leaders, we're the protectors. Women should follow our lead or be our teammate. We shouldn't be following. Now, when you're on a team, different people on the team have input and stuff like that. But I'm talking about, men are the protectors. You don't hide behind the wife when somebody breaks into the house. Generally, men are the providers, okay? So there's a leadership role for men. This guy wants to follow women. Oh, you dictate to me that I can't see my kid? And it's harmful to my kid? Okay, according to, I forgot his name now, Josh Grant or John Grant, I have to obey you. I'm sorry for ever even considering disobeying you. You see how asinine that sounds? If she can keep the kid from you, why can't you keep the kid from her? What's the difference between her and you? Gender? So one gender is better than the other? The only thing he could probably be thinking is, if you take your kid, then you're just lowering yourself to the mother. So you're just supposed to let the thief keep the kid. If you guys have a car in both of your names and she drives off and she gets pissed and she's drunk or something crazy, and then she gets out of the car, according to this guy's logic, you shouldn't go pick up your own car, even if the keys are in it, because you don't do anything that defies her. Like, the car is in both of your names, but don't go get the car. Because he's sitting there saying, you have a kid that's in both your names, you're both on the certificate, it's both your kids, but you can't do anything that defies her. This is how pathetic my gender is. And I've seen thousands. How many thousands of guys have you seen do this and get in trouble. I've seen them not get in trouble.